Why is it that the world has never been more comfortable, yet people have never been more anxious? We have technology to save time, tools to reduce effort, endless advice on how to relax. And still our minds feel restless, reactive, and overwhelmed. One small problem appears, and we lose our peace. One rude comment, and our emotions take control. One unexpected setback, and we spiral. The Stoics saw this coming thousands of years ago. They understood a truth most people still miss today. Calm is not something you find. Calm is something you train. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under constant pressure, war, betrayal, illness, yet he spoke of inner peace as a discipline, not a luxury. Seneca warned that most suffering is created by our own imagination. Epictetus taught that real calm begins the moment you stop trying to control what was never yours. In this video, you'll learn 10 powerful lessons from Stoicism that help you stay calm. Not when life is easy, but when it truly tests you. Stay with me. This wisdom is not comforting, it's stabilizing. Lesson 1. Calm is a skill, not a personality. Most people believe calm is something you're either born with or not. They look at someone composed under pressure and think, that's just who they are. Stoicism rejects this completely. The Stoics understood something uncomfortable but liberating. Calm is trained, not inherited. You weren't born anxious. You weren't born reactive. Those are learned responses, and anything learned can be unlearned. Modern life quietly trains the opposite of calm. Notifications condition instant reaction. Social media rewards outrage. Endless comparisons wire insecurity. Over time, the nervous system adapts to chaos as its baseline. So when something goes wrong, your body reacts before your mind can intervene. The heart races, the thoughts spiral. You feel out of control. Stoicism begins by exposing a hard truth. You are not disturbed by events. You are disturbed by your judgments about them. This is where the work starts. Marcus Aurelius ruled during wars, plagues, and political betrayal. Yet he wrote to himself that calm came from training the mind daily, not avoiding hardship. His composure wasn't a personality trait. It was discipline practiced under pressure. Calm is built the same way strength is built in the body, through resistance. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you train calmly. Every time you observe anger without obeying it, you train calm. Every time you choose restraint over impulse, you train calmly. At first, it felt unnatural. Silence feels weak. Stillness feels uncomfortable. Non-reaction feels like losing. But that discomfort is the training ground. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress emotion. It asks you to interrupt the automatic chain. Event, judgment, reaction. When you insert a pause, even for a few seconds, you reclaim authority over yourself. Try this today. The next time you feel triggered by a message, a delay, a comment, do nothing for 10 seconds. Breathe slowly. Ask one question. Is this within my control? That pause is not passive. It is power being reclaimed. Calm does not mean life gets quieter. It means you stop letting noise rule your inner world. This is not who you are. This is who you are training to become. Lesson 2. You suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of the pain you feel never actually happens. It lives in your head, projected into the future, replayed from the past, exaggerated by fear. A conversation that hasn't occurred yet, a mistake that might happen, a judgment you assume others are making about you. Your body reacts as if the danger is real. Your sleep suffers. Your focus breaks. Your calm disappears. But the event itself, often it hasn't even arrived. This is one of the most unsettling insights of Stoicism. The mind is often a more ruthless enemy than reality. Seneca observed this centuries ago when he wrote that We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He wasn't denying pain existed. He was exposing how frequently we multiply it unnecessarily. Think about how anxiety works. One small uncertainty appears, and the mind rushes ahead. It builds scenarios, it predicts failure, it prepares for humiliation, loss, rejection, and suddenly, you're exhausted, without anything actually happening. Stoicism doesn't tell you to think positive. It tells you to think precisely. The Stoic asks, what is actually happening right now, this exact moment? Not what might happen, not what could go wrong, not what you fear will repeat. Right now. Most of the time, the answer is simple and grounding. You are safe. You are breathing. You are capable of responding when the time comes. The calm mind refuses to rehearse disasters that have not earned their place in reality. This does not mean ignoring risks. It means refusing to pay emotional interest on imagined debt. A Stoic prepares rationally, but suffers only once, when suffering is unavoidable. Try this practice tonight. When worry appears, write down the fear exactly as it shows up in your mind. Then ask 2 questions. Is this happening right now? If it did happen, could I respond with reason? Most fears collapse under clarity. Calm grows when you stop letting the future bully the present. Life is challenging enough without fighting shadows that don't exist. When you learn to separate reality from imagination, you don't become careless. You become free. And freedom, quiet, grounded freedom, is the foundation of calm. Lesson 3. Control the response, not the event. One of the most exhausting habits you may not even notice is this: trying to control what was never yours to control. You want people to understand you. You want situations to unfold fairly. You want outcomes to match your effort. And when they don't, tension rises. Anger builds. Calm slips away. Stoicism draws a sharp, life-changing line here. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us, and some things are not. Peace begins the moment you stop confusing the two. You do not control what people think. You do not control delays, losses, or sudden changes. You do not control how the world responds to your intentions, but you do control your judgments. You do control your choices. You do control how you respond when things go wrong. Most inner chaos comes from placing your emotional stability in the hands of external events. When outcomes decide how you feel, calm becomes fragile. Stoicism reverses that dependency. It asks you to build calm on something unshakable, your response. Think about the last time something didn't go your way. Maybe a plan fell apart. Maybe someone disappointed you. Maybe life ignored your effort completely. The event itself was brief, but the reaction, resentment, replaying, self-criticism lasted far longer. The Stoic doesn't deny frustration, but they refuse to add judgment to pain. There is a quiet power in saying, "This happened. Now what is the most reasonable response?" That question returns authority to you. Calm does not mean being passive. It means choosing your energy deliberately. You can address a problem without rage. You can set boundaries without drama. You can move forward without needing the world to apologize first. Practice this shift today. When something triggers you, pause and name it accurately. Not "this is unfair." Not "they ruined everything." Simply, "this is outside my control." Then redirect your focus to the only place that matters. What action reflects my values right now? That redirection is where calm lives. Life will always bring unpredictability. People will always behave imperfectly. Outcomes will never fully obey your plans. But when your peace depends on your response, not the result, you stop living defensively. You stop bracing against life. And in that grounded posture, calm becomes not a reaction to circumstances, but a decision you carry with you no matter what happens next. Lesson 4. Most things that anger. You are outside your authority. Anger often feels justified. It rises fast, feels powerful, and convinces you that something is wrong and must be corrected immediately. But Stoicism asks a question most people never pause to consider. Do you actually have authority over what you're angry about? In most cases, the answer is no. You get angry at traffic, at someone's tone, at incompetence, delays, disrespect, opinions you dislike, at how others behave when they should know better. Yet none of these things belong to you. Marcus Aurelius wrote bluntly that anger comes from expecting people to act other than they do. He didn't excuse bad behavior, but he refused to be emotionally ruled by it. This is a difficult lesson because anger often disguises itself as strength. In reality, it is usually frustration over lost control. You want the world to cooperate. You want people to behave rationally. You want life to follow invisible rules you carry in your head. When it doesn't, anger erupts. Stoicism dismantles this illusion gently but firmly. The world does not owe you alignment with your preferences. Most anger fades the moment you accept one truth. Other people's actions sit outside your authority. That acceptance is not resignation. It is relief, because once you stop trying to govern what you cannot control, you recover enormous energy. Notice how anger drains you, the replaying, the inner arguments, the tension carried long after the moment had passed. Meanwhile, the situation itself often remains unchanged. The Stoic chooses a different posture. Instead of asking, "Why are they like this?" they ask, "How should I respond?" That shift is subtle, but transformative. You can still address problems. You can still set boundaries. You can still say no, walk away, or take decisive action. But you do it without surrendering your inner balance. Try this practice. The next time anger rises, ask yourself, do I have authority here, or only an opinion? If it's only an opinion, release it. If it's within your control, act calmly and directly. Anger thrives on resistance to reality. Calm grows from alignment with it. When you stop demanding that the world behave according to your expectations, you don't become passive. You become unshakable. And in that unshakable state, anger loses its grip, because it no longer has anything to defend. Lesson 5. Silence is often the most powerful reaction. When tension rises, the instinct to speak is immediate, to explain yourself, to defend your position, to correct misunderstandings, to prove that you are right. Silence in those moments feels unnatural, almost dangerous. It feels like weakness, like surrender, like letting the other person win. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Silence is not absence. Silence is restraint under pressure. Epictetus warned that reacting impulsively hands control to whatever provoked you. The Stoic response is not loud resistance, but deliberate non-reaction. Most conflicts are fueled by emotional momentum. One sharp comment invites another. One defensive explanation invites escalation. Before long, the issue is forgotten, and only pride remains. Silence breaks that chain. It denies the situation the energy it feeds on. This does not mean suppressing truth or avoiding necessary conversations. It means choosing timing over impulse. Think about how many times speaking immediately made things worse. The message was sent too fast, the argument extended unnecessarily, the explanation that only invited more misunderstanding. Silence, when chosen consciously, creates space. It allows emotions to settle. It allows perspective to return. It allows you to respond from reason instead of reflex. Stoics understood that not every moment demands a response. Some moments demand composure. There is a quiet authority in being able to pause when provoked, in letting words land without chasing them, in observing instead of reacting. This is not passivity. It is self-command. Silence protects your energy. It prevents you from revealing more than necessary. It keeps your dignity intact while others expose their lack of control. Practice this today. When you feel the urge to respond immediately, wait. Count to 10. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, will speaking now improve this, or just express my emotion? Often, the answer is clear. You will notice something subtle but powerful. The moment you stop reacting automatically, people adjust. Some calm down, some reveal their intentions. Some lose interest altogether. Silence becomes a mirror. It reflects emotional chaos without absorbing it. Calm does not always arrive through words. Sometimes it arrives through restraint. When you learn that you don't need to respond to every stimulus, you stop living at the mercy of external noise. And in that disciplined quiet, you reclaim something rare today: inner authority. That authority is not loud. It doesn't argue. It doesn't chase validation. It simply stands firm and lets silence do the work. Lesson 6. Expect difficulty, and it loses its power. Most stress comes from one quiet assumption: that life should be easier than it is. When obstacles appear, the mind reacts with surprise. Why is this happening? Why now? Why me? That surprise quickly turns into frustration, and frustration erodes calm. Stoicism removes this shock at its root. Seneca advised preparing the mind for difficulty before it arrives, not to become pessimistic, but to become steady. When you expect hardship, it no longer feels like an injustice. It feels like part of the terrain. This practice is known as premeditatio malorum, the calm anticipation of challenges. It sounds heavy, but its effect is the opposite. When you expect traffic, you're not angry when it appears. When you expect resistance, you're not crushed by it. When you expect setbacks, you adapt instead of panic. The Stoic mind does not say, "Nothing bad will happen." It says, "Something will happen, and I will meet it prepared." That expectation builds emotional immunity. Modern life conditions us to expect constant comfort, fast answers, smooth progress, immediate results. So when reality disrupts that fantasy, the nervous system overreacts. Stoicism trains realism, not cynicism, not despair. Realism. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he would meet difficult people, delays, and ingratitude, and that none of these were personal attacks. They were expressions of human nature and circumstance. Because he expected difficulty, he wasn't destabilized by it. Calm grows when resistance no longer feels like a violation. Try this mental shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" ask, "What is this training me for?" That question doesn't romanticize pain. It reframes it. Difficulty becomes instruction. Delay becomes conditioning. Discomfort becomes preparation. This doesn't make life painless. It makes it navigable. When you expect smooth sailing, every wave feels like failure. When you expect waves, you adjust your balance. Calm is not built by hoping for easier days. It is built by preparing for harder ones. Tonight, take 1 minute and imagine a challenge you are likely to face tomorrow. Not catastrophically, realistically. Then decide calmly how you will respond. That quiet preparation strips the difficulty of its intimidation, because what the mind has already faced, it no longer fears. And when fear loses its grip, calm becomes not a fragile state, but a practiced strength you carry forward. Lesson 7. Remember that you will die, and life becomes clear. Nothing sharpens the mind like remembering that time is not promised. Most people avoid this thought. They treat it as dark, uncomfortable, and unnecessary. But Stoicism treats it as clarifying. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea constantly, not to frighten himself, but to wake himself up. He reminded himself that life is short, fragile, and already in motion, and that forgetting this truth is what causes people to waste their days in anxiety, resentment, and distraction. When you live as if time is unlimited, small things feel enormous. Insults linger, delays feel unbearable, petty conflicts consume energy. But when you remember that your time is finite, perspective returns. You begin to ask better questions. Is this worth my peace? Is this how I want to spend a portion of my limited life? Will this matter when I look back? Most things that disturb your calm collapse under those questions. Stoicism calls this practice memento mori. Remember that you will die. Not as a threat, as a compass. It strips away illusion. You stop arguing for the sake of pride. You stop postponing meaningful action. You stop carrying grudges that steal time you cannot recover. Calm emerges when you realize how precious attention truly is. Death awareness does not make life grim. It makes it urgent and sincere. You speak more honestly. You tolerate less nonsense. You choose your battles carefully. Think about how often anxiety comes from imagined futures that may never arrive. Memento mori brings you back to the only moment that is guaranteed. Now. Right now, you are alive. Right now, you can choose how to respond. Right now, you can act with intention. That realization is grounding. The Stoic does not rush, but they do not drift. They move with quiet decisiveness because they understand the cost of delay. Try this reflection tonight. Ask yourself, if today were one of my last, what would I stop worrying about? Then ask, what would I start doing without hesitation? The answers are often painfully obvious. Calm is not detachment from life. It is engagement with what actually matters. When you remember that your time is limited, trivial anxieties lose their power. You stop squandering energy on noise. You begin to live deliberately. And in that deliberate way of living, calm is no longer something you chase. It becomes the natural byproduct of a life aligned with what is real, finite, and meaningful. Lesson 8. Stop needing the world to be fair. Few expectations disturb the mind more than this one, that life should be fair. You work hard, yet someone else advances. You act with integrity, yet others cut corners and win. You stay loyal, yet you are betrayed. When fairness becomes an expectation, disappointment becomes inevitable. Stoicism confronts this illusion directly. Seneca warned that demanding fairness from life is like demanding calm seas from the ocean. Nature does not negotiate. Reality does not explain itself. And the moment you accept this, something inside you loosens. The belief that life must reward virtue immediately is deeply human, but deeply destabilizing. It makes you angry when effort goes unnoticed, bitter when outcomes feel undeserved, restless when justice seems delayed. Calm cannot survive in a mind constantly measuring reality against imagined rules. Stoicism does not deny injustice. It denies entitlement to outcomes. This is one of its hardest teachings, and one of its most freeing. When you stop expecting fairness, you stop taking randomness personally. You stop seeing adversity as an insult. You stop wasting emotional energy on comparisons you cannot control. Instead, the focus shifts inward. Not did I get what I deserved, but did I act according to my values? That shift changes everything. The Stoic understands that virtue is its own reward, not because it brings comfort, but because it brings self-respect. And self-respect is far more stable than external validation. Think about how much calm you lose waiting for recognition, for apologies, for fairness to arrive on its own timeline. Most of that waiting is silent suffering. Stoicism invites you to step out of that trap. You still pursue excellence, you still set standards, but you no longer tie your inner balance to how the world responds. Try this reflection. When something feels unfair, ask yourself, what part of this is outside my control? and what part defines my character. Release the first. Commit to the second. Calm grows when you realize that life does not owe you justice, but you owe yourself integrity. The world may be unfair, people may be disappointed, outcomes may ignore effort entirely. But when your peace no longer depends on fairness, you stop arguing with reality. And when you stop arguing with reality, you reclaim a deep, grounded calm, one that no injustice can easily take from you. Not because the world became kinder, but because you became internally sovereign. Lesson 9. Detachment is not coldness, it's freedom. Detachment is one of the most misunderstood Stoic ideas. People hear the word and imagine indifference, emotional distance, a cold, withdrawn way of living. Stoicism means none of that. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you no longer attach your inner state to things that can be taken from you, people's approval, changing circumstances, unstable outcomes. Most anxiety comes from emotional over-attachment. You attach your peace to a relationship continuing, your self-worth to recognition, your stability to things remaining exactly as they are. And when life inevitably shifts, fear appears. Detachment loosens that grip. It says, I will engage fully, but I will not chain my well-being to what I cannot command. This is not emotional avoidance. It is emotional maturity. The detached person still loves, but without possession. Still commits, but without desperation. Still strives, but without tying identity to the result. That internal separation creates calm. Think about how exhausting attachment can be. The constant checking, the need for reassurance, the fear of loss before loss even happens. Detachment removes that background noise. Stoicism teaches that everything external is on loan: relationships, roles, success, reputation. Enjoy them while they are present. Care for them responsibly. But remember, they're not yours to own forever. This mindset doesn't make you careless, it makes you present. Because when you stop fearing loss, you actually experience more. You listen more deeply. You act more honestly. You stop manipulating outcomes to protect your emotions. Calm grows when you can say, I will do my part, then release the rest. Try this practice. Notice one thing you are emotionally gripping too tightly. Ask yourself, what happens to my peace if this changes? If the answer is everything, detachment is needed. You don't detach by withdrawing. You detach by recentering, bringing your sense of stability back to your values, your actions, your character. What remains after detachment is not emptiness, it is space. Space to respond instead of panic. Space to love without fear. Space to move forward without dragging anxiety behind you. This is Stoic freedom. Not freedom from life, but freedom within it. And when nothing external can fully shake you, calm stops being fragile. It becomes your natural state. Quiet, grounded, and unowned by circumstance. Lesson 10. A calm mind is the ultimate advantage. In a world addicted to speed, outrage, and constant reaction, calm has become rare, and what is rare becomes powerful. Most people believe advantage comes from being louder, faster, or more aggressive. Stoicism reveals the opposite. The calm mind sees clearly while others are blinded by emotion. Marcus Aurelius described the mind as an inner fortress, one that cannot be invaded unless you open the gates yourself. For him, calm was not comfort. It was a strategy. When your mind is calm, you notice details others miss. You hear what is not being said. You recognize patterns instead of reacting to noise. You choose timing over impulse. While others panic, you remain grounded. While others rush to respond, you wait and respond better. While others burn energy emotionally, you conserve it. This is not passivity. This is precision. A calm mind allows you to act without inner conflict, to walk away without bitterness, to stand your ground without aggression. In relationships, calm protects your boundaries. In work, it sharpens your judgment under pressure. In adversity, it keeps you from becoming your own worst enemy. Stoicism never promised control over life. It promised control over yourself. And that control compounds. Each time you resist emotional impulse, you strengthen self-trust. Each time you choose composure, you reinforce inner authority. Eventually, calm stops being something you reach for. It becomes your default posture, not because life got easier, but because you became harder to destabilize. In a chaotic world, this is the ultimate advantage. Not dominance over others, not constant certainty, but the ability to remain steady when conditions are not. Because when your mind is calm, no external circumstance fully owns you. And that quiet independence is the deepest form of strength Stoicism offers. You've just walked through 10 lessons from Stoicism, not to make life easier, but to make you steadier. You learned that calm is trained, not inherited. That imagination causes more suffering than reality. That your response is always more powerful than the event. That anger, unfairness, attachment, and fear lose their grip the moment you stop handing them authority. None of these lessons work as ideas alone. Stoicism only comes alive through practice. So don't try to apply everything at once. Choose one lesson. Just one. Practice it today. When you feel triggered, rushed, disappointed, or uncertain, pause, observe, respond with intention. That small shift, repeated daily, changes the quality of your life more than motivation ever could. If this video gave you clarity, strength, or perspective, take a moment to acknowledge that growth. And if you're serious about building a calm, disciplined mind in a chaotic world, stay with this journey. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your attention matters, and how you use it defines who you become. If you found value here, consider subscribing and share this with someone who needs steadiness right now. Until the next video, remember, calm is not a weakness. It is a trained strength.